What is up, people? What is up, people? What is up, people? It is your boy MM2K of PNTS Network, Hard Knock Digital Culture. You name it, I am there. And I'm here with an NRO Daily, something special that we're doing for YouTube, we're doing it live. All right. And the reason why, and I normally don't do anything at this time of the day or this day of the week, period, on Sundays. Sundays are my Sabbath. I'm chilling, right? But I had to do something today, man, because there's a lot of craziness happening out here. And the Xbox fanboys and the zealots are on a whole nother level right now. And I normally just let them do their thing, just collect the receipts. And when the dust settles, then I address the foolery. Just like I did when they were like, oh, cloud gaming ain't going to have no weight on the CMA or any of the regulators' decision. And come to find out that all three of them put more weight on cloud gaming than they did the whole console concerns. It's just that out of the CMA and EU, the CMA says what Microsoft is offering isn't good enough. More so than EU. EU says it's good enough. However, we want to monitor this and make sure that they follow through with what they told us they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? But CMA is saying, nah, it's not even good enough for us, right? And they were wrong when they were sitting there tweeting every 5 seconds and telling you that once we got past the console part, that Sony would be crying because they were going to lose. Then they told you this deal was going to be closed in 2023. Remember that? They told you this deal was going to close in 2023. They told you so many things about this deal and they were wrong. You know who was right? We were here. And we were right without all the tweeting, without all the hyperbole, without all the conjecture. We just sat back and waited for them to stumble on their face. And we're going to do that again. But there comes a time when there's so much foolery and so much effery being put out there that it has to be addressed. All right. What am I talking about? Well, the chief of PlayStation went and did an interview. And based upon this interview, we now have the Xbox zealots coming out here and saying that, oh, Xbox is, you know, the points that they're trying to make are now being underscored by Sony because Sony is saying that cloud gaming isn't a competitor now. And that's the farthest thing from the truth. And if you're propagating that propaganda, it's either because you're stupid or you have an agenda. Now, there are a lot of stupid people out there on Twitter that are believing this stuff and not kicking the tires on it. But the overwhelming majority of people that are propagating this propaganda, again, they know better. They don't believe it. No holds barred to Microsoft getting Activision because Microsoft, quote unquote, doing well means life or death to them. And what happens is you, the consumer, you lose out on those proposals. So they can sit there and fancy up their words, become Google paralegals all they want, and do the trickery of trying to use fancy words and terminology to trip you up. But the dust already settles. One of the major zealots that are out here talking about this is going to happen and that's going to happen and quoting Bible scripture and movies or whatever to show you that Microsoft will win this just got busted on other social media platforms with various sock accounts. We don't believe you, man. But we're going to get into all the foolery right now. Just give us a second. I would be remiss, though, if I didn't show you this. This is our website, PNTS Network, where we go over the latest and greatest in gaming news. Check us out right here. We got a lot of stuff out here for you. So definitely, and what you want to do too is if you get a chance, check us out over on Twitch as well. All right. Twitch.tv/MightyMost2000. Check out all of our streams or podcasts. This is going to be up there too. So definitely you don't want to miss out on any of that stuff. Oop. Hit the wrong button. You don't want to miss out on any of that stuff. All right. So definitely check it all out. MM2K, twitch.tv/MM2K. All right. Okay. So let's get into this, right? What is wrong with what is being propagandized today? What is the rumor? Okay, so the rumor is based upon an article that came out, and let me show you the article. This is one of the chief fanboys, Xbox fanboys out here. But we're not going to focus on him, and don't go harass him or whatever. Just let him do his thing. You just got to be smart enough at some point in time as grown men and women. We got to be smart enough to understand the propaganda and the conjecture and be able to separate it from reality. Let them do what they do for attention. Okay. But there's this article out here that says that, Sony chief plays down the threat to consoles from cloud gaming. And then this interview where he says, look, cloud gaming right now is not a threat to dedicated device gaming or our way of console gaming. That is the proper thesis to surmise from the interview. It's not a threat to console gaming at the moment. There are things with latency and technology that we as Sony, we have to deal with. So right now, because of what we do and what we offer, right now we feel like it's the best. So as they're talking about cloud gaming, they're talking about their infrastructure, their approach, and how cloud gaming, as far as what they have to offer to date, relates to their what they offer natively. All right. And I'm going to prove how they're talking about what they offer and what's available to them versus what they have natively. Not the overall market, and not the overall market full time or in the future. Okay. So, and because of that interview that's being taken out of context, the zealots then pull this out, which is one particular part that they're misunderstanding out of the CMA's appendix that says, and they're saying here that, somebody lied when they said that cloud gaming has capabilities beyond native gaming, right? And they're referring to this particular article or paragraph where it says a competitor submitted that cloud gaming outperforms most PCs and consoles and is technologically viable for all game genres. The same competitor submitted that technological barriers to streaming, including latency, were quickly dropping and were likely to continue to drop. It describes how it reduced latency on its service. All right. So what they're surmising is that somebody lied because Sony is saying this, that Sony isn't talking about their efforts overall and their struggles with the technology, that this just isn't possible with cloud gaming altogether, right? So we're going to get into why that's baloney and why you have to pay close attention before you listen to anything from these zealots. All right. Here's the reality of what that means. It's not true. In response to what the zealots are out there saying today, I say, so zealots claim that per an article, PlayStation gave Microsoft an assist over cloud gaming. Nope. Sony implies their challenges with cloud gaming, why it's not comparable to their native services at the moment. GFN proves otherwise. So it is not a lie that cloud gaming can surpass even native gaming in aspects as it regards to latency. How do we know? Because a major skeptic of cloud gaming, Digital Foundry, not too long ago released this article saying, we were art skeptics for years, but cloud gaming can work. I know personally because me and my outfit, my publication, Cloud Dosage, that used to be Stadia Dosage, we were battling back and forth with Digital Foundry for years about what they surmised about the capabilities of cloud gaming. We said you're off key. As long as you have fathomable internet that's being used right now to play Call of Duty and Fortnite, you are able to experience certain aspects of cloud gaming that do surpass native gaming. I'm not going to argue and say the overall experience surpasses native gaming. Hell no, because you got to have the games. But there are certain aspects in performance of cloud gaming that right now today surpass aspects of native gaming. What am I talking about? This is from Digital Foundry, their findings, and they have findings beyond this before this most recent article, where they say there's another factor at play too in talking about Nividia Geforce Now. This article is particularly about Nividia Geforce Now. There's another factor at play too. Infrastructure upgrades. As you can see above, the truth is that Nividia has cracked the latency challenge by the time it launched the Geforce Now RTX 3080 tier. That's Gen 1 technology. Improvements since have come from higher frequency streaming, 4K 120 and beyond. I didn't include that part because it's not necessary to prove the point here. And for an example, they put Fortnite up here. They have other examples in other articles, multiple games, where they show Nividia Geforce Now, the cloud gaming service, surpassing native console gaming and PC in much smaller regards, but mainly console games. So right here they use Fortnite because Fortnite is a major competitive game. They're using Fortnite as an example. When you're playing at 60 millisecond. When you're playing Fortnite at average latency, or at 60 hertz, rather, when you're playing Fortnite, PlayStation 5, the latency is at 96.8. Native PC with VSync off. That's the technology that, makes it more stable for you, right? The frames. With VSync off, it's 35 is the latency. 35 milliseconds, 35.4 to be exact. For Geforce Now, a cloud service, the latency is 78.3 milliseconds. That's lower than PlayStation 5. Now, granted, when they get to 120 hertz, it's faster. But it's only 5 milliseconds faster. And this is what you got to take into consideration. PlayStation is doing that at 1080p. Geforce Now Ultimate Gen 2, which is considered the 4080 tier, is only 5 milliseconds slower, but it's doing it at 4K. Again, this is 1080, this is 4K. Stop the trash. You got to get wise enough and know when these zealots are zealoting and don't pay them any damn attention. Okay? That's from Digital Foundry. Serious skeptics of cloud gaming. The performance that is coming from Nividia Geforce Now make them go out here and say, you know what? We retract everything we've said for the past few years, because now with Nividia Geforce Now, no pun intended, we were arch skeptics for years, but cloud gaming can work. All right? In addition to that, which debunks this narrative that they're trying to say that Sony's article proves that the CMA got it wrong and it helps Microsoft. No, Microsoft's arch argument right now is, why are we doing all this for cloud gaming? Cloud gaming isn't even a market. And the EU agrees with us. That's Microsoft's arch argument right now, is that not only did CMA get calculations wrong, and we're going to get into that, we're going to debunk that as well, but our main argument right now is, why are we doing this? Screw the terminology nascent market. It's not a market. It's just a delivery system. That's Microsoft's chief argument. Remember when they went up there with the C8, for those of y'all that went up there and watched the tribunal, Microsoft's lawyer was up there and was like, they didn't even get the other cloud gaming services definition of if this is a market or not. Remember all that? That is Microsoft's chief argument at the moment. It's not even a market. So Sony saying it's not competitive to or dedicated gaming market is not the same as saying it's not a market. They believe it's a market. Why do we know that they believe it's a market? Because they say so. You surmise so from the job entries that they got out there right now, the job positions they're looking to fill. This is a job position out there for Director of Product Management, Cloud Gaming from Sony. And what they say is, it's part of the description, the role. Are you a groundbreaking innovator in the cloud streaming product space? Then you likely agree that cloud gaming, quote, is on its way to becoming a major part of the gaming industry. So despite Sony's interview saying it's not a competitor now to what we offer natively, it is a market to them as well. It's just a nascent market. It's building. And don't go by, I got people in my ear saying silly stuff. Certain regulators saying that the nascent market, a nascent market is a market. A lot of these people don't understand industry terms when it comes to the market. Hence why they're just on Google trying to be Google paralegals. A nascent market is a market. That's like saying you're not a man. Why did you say that guy's not a man? He's a short man. A short man is a man. What are we doing? What are y'all smoking out here? What the hell is wrong with y'all? Y'all about to get me to curse out here, but I'm not. I had to curse somebody out earlier. Don't be this dumb. A nascent market is a market. It's just not a big one right now. Microsoft's argument is that it's not even a market. Yes, you have other regulators that disagree or whatever, but the market is determined mainly by the market analysts, the people that make the market operate. And just Google cloud gaming, CAGR. You will be shocked at the results of all the market analysts that talk about cloud gaming as a market. Yes, you have regulators out there that are willing to say, well, you know, it's not a market to us because cloud gaming isn't big there yet. But like how the South Korean market said it's a market, and places like Asia and other places, cloud gaming is big, like how it is in the UK. It's big. It's the biggest in, well, Microsoft and PlayStation, all the Western companies' versions of cloud gaming are the biggest, of course, in the West. And there's Asian companies that, of course, they're the biggest in Asia. We've never heard of them, just like a lot of them have never heard of our cloud gaming entities. But what I find peculiar is everybody's saying CMA is up to something shady. But out of the three main regulators in the West that are most affected by cloud gaming, the EU is the only one saying it's not a market? But I digress. Anywho, so Sony believes it is a market. It's just not one that compete. It's nascent, so it doesn't compete with their native offerings now. And as far as their technology is concerned, just like I just showed you via Nividia Geforce now, via their technology, they can't handle the latency concerns. But platforms like Nividia Geforce now, may I even argue Amazon Luna, Google Stadia, when they were around, they were able to do it. Eurogamer / Digital Foundry, the biggest skeptics of cloud gaming, said, quote, there's another factor at play. Look at it on your screen. Look at it on your screen. We're gonna help recess the dumbness gene that bounces around in a lot of y'all. We're gonna do that today. Look at your screen. Look at your freaking screen. There's another factor at play too. Infrastructure upgrades. As you can see above, quote, The truth is that Nividia had cracked the latency challenge by the time it launched Geforce Now RTX 3080 tier, meaning Gen 1 of Geforce Now Ultimate. They're already in Gen 2. Okay? You got a lot of people that talk about cloud gaming on the benefit of Microsoft or Xbox, and they don't even understand it. They don't know where the technology is. They don't even know how the technology works. I've had people tell me that Call of Duty wasn't possible on the cloud. We got Apex Legends and everything else being played at 4K 120. What are y'all talking about? Stop being so damn stupid. And I say this regardless of whether you want the deal to pass or not. That's not my concern. I think everybody legitimately, despite whatever side you fall on, want the deal to pass or they don't want it to pass based upon their own gaming concerns. Like, for instance, my business partner over at clouddosage.com, my homie Jack the Slip, he feels totally different from me on the deal. He wants the deal to pass, and he pivots from facts, though, on what he feels are flaws with the CMA's arguments or whatever, and strengths in Microsoft's arguments. But again, it's based off of facts. Because regardless of where any of us fall, we understand cloud gaming. The problem is that 99%, I'm not going to say 100, but damn well close, 99% of the people that you see on Twitter talking about cloud gaming and its implications on behalf of Microsoft or Xbox don't understand cloud gaming. I'm not going to name any names, but the staunchest people that are out here talking about this that I've spoken to do not understand what's going on in the cloud gaming space right now. They have no clue. Now, if you want the deal to go through and you want to hear fathomable arguments based upon facts, I'll point you to my partner Jack to Slip. I'll point you to other people in the cloud gaming space. Rock, my brother Dad Plays Games. There's a bunch of people that don't agree with me at all, but know and understand cloud gaming. Do not listen to these Xbox zealots. Do not listen to these idiots. They are dumbasses. Clive Linden's another one. They're dumb. Not Clive. Clive is smart, but Clive is somebody you want to listen to. But these other Xbox zealots that know nothing about cloud gaming, they're dumbasses. Do not listen to them. I get worked up when stupidity is being spread. Is this what the internet is for to y'all? Stop being so damn stupid. You can be for this deal without spreading stupidity. Let's talk about the CMA stance. Oh, Lord Jesus. Help this internet. Help Twitter. Let's talk about the CMA stance. I urge all of you, and I'm going to put this in the chat right now. CMA document. That's the actual CMA document. Read it for yourself. It's not hard to read. CMA created this document on its final decisions, and it's very easy to digest. Read it for yourself. Don't let these zealots pull out little pieces that they don't understand. They don't know what they're talking about. If you read it, and you can also read the summary here. Here goes the summary. I'm putting the summary in the chat. Summary. So if you're watching this VOD, just check out the chat where I'm putting the summary at too. This is the summary. All right. An argument is that, and I just heard it today, make sure I got this right. The argument is that CMA's concern is solely that new cloud platforms wouldn't be able to get a leg up in cloud gaming if Microsoft owns Activision Blizzard. That again is false. The people that are spreading that today did not read the document. That's always been part of their argument. They didn't just bring that up today. It's always been part of the freaking argument. It was part of it. CMA's argument is they don't think that any cloud service should be granted properties that can severely thwart the organic nature of the cloud gaming market. And they make an argument that, particularly with Microsoft, being that per their calculations, them being the market leader as far as monthly active users, and don't worry, we're going to get into that, it's the most severe with them. But they don't believe that any cloud gaming company should get property like Activision Blizzard that can severely twist the market in their favor. Now, MM2K, where do you get that from? Well, I read, damn it, I read. This is the CMA summary. Check it out. I highlighted the important portions for you, for those that need hooked on phonics. So in the section where it says, considering the potential benefits of the merger, they say Martin Coleman, chair of the independent panel of experts conducting this investigation, said, and he summarizes the main points of why CMA got to their decision. Let's first focus on the yellow and this lightly highlighted area because they're really just one section. The second point is just a subtext to the yellow highlighted portion. He says Microsoft already enjoys a powerful position and head start over other competitors in cloud gaming, and this deal would strengthen that advantage, giving it the ability to undermine new and innovative competitors. Notice how words matter. In English, words have meaning. That's why they say new and innovative. So what are they saying there? And it's all throughout the document that even though they're offering 10-year deals to these catalyst services, or some institutions are labeling them to bring your own game services, those are services like Boosteroid and Nividia Geforce Now, where it's indicative of you to buy the game elsewhere on a native platform, and they're basically giving you access to your native purchase in the cloud. Those are what we've been calling in the cloud community since 2020. Those are catalyst services, but now now the mainstream is getting used to this. Now they're calling it bring your own game services. Whatever. I'm going to stick to catalyst services for the sake of this content that we're doing live now. All right. So catalyst services like Boosteroid and Nividia Geforce Now, they benefit from these 10-year deals. You know what I'm saying? It helps them because basically they're just charging you for access. They're not charging you for the title. Any DLCs that are purchased don't go to them. When games are bought, they don't get that revenue. They're just basically charging you. Think of it like an internet cafe, but in the cloud. They're basically charging you for access to a rig in the sky, a gaming rig in the sky. So they don't care where the game is at. As long as they're granted access to it for X amount of time, so it helps bolster their service so they can continue to charge you for access to a rig. So their product isn't necessarily the games. The games help strengthen their product, but their product is the rig in the sky. So having a variety now, even if it gets yanked later, isn't the worst deal for them, because they're pretty much offering you the rig in the sky based upon variety. So it's not about the catalog so much individually as it is the catalog quantitatively. And getting access to Microsoft games for 10 years and not potentially including Call of Duty, that's right up their alley, because they're charging you for the access. And Microsoft not doing revenue share on the purchase of the game, that's fine to them, Because games aren't purchased through their service anyway. They're purchased somewhere else, and they are just catalysts to access what you purchased natively. All right? So what CMA is saying is, as far as innovative approaches, they're talking about Google Stadia, Amazon Luna, where they have sole cloud platforms that, like for instance, as far as Amazon Luna is concerned, there was going to be a catalyst / bring your own game. Well, there isn't a catalyst / bring your own game element that's embedded into it. So they can partake in these 10-year deals if Microsoft is willing to give them one. But that's a whole nother podcast. I'm not going to get into all that right now. And it was strongly rumored that Google was going to do this too. Right? But their main things is natively being supported by games being ported to their platforms, to their dedicated sole gaming. So they're not renting you access to a gaming rig in the sky. You actually either have to, when it came to Stadia, you actually had to purchase the game, purchase the DLC, or as it relates to both Stadia and Amazon Luna, you sign up for their subscription services that are specific to their sole cloud gaming platform. So when CMA talks about innovative competitors, they're talking about those approaches. And to go even further, Stadia used Linux as its back end, a specialized version of Linux, where everybody else didn't. And they did that. That helped them curtail a lot of the latency issues that other cloud services face. That's why for a very long time, everybody was like, Stadia feels the best. Anybody that was actually familiar and played cloud gaming services on a regular was like, oh no, nothing feels like Stadia. And they credit it to them using Linux on their back end, a specialized version of Linux to that. How do I know this? Because in the main document, if you guys read it, that's what CMA references to. This is just a summary of it, but for the sake of time, I'm going over the summary. That's why I urge you to read the whole document. Don't listen to these zealots online. Read the whole damn document. All right. So again, Microsoft already enjoys a powerful position and head start over other competitors in cloud gaming, and this deal would strengthen that advantage, giving it the ability to undermine new and innovative competitors. That is part of the issue that they have. Also, CMA says, and they admit it, Microsoft engaged constructively with us to try to address the issues. And we are grateful for that. But their proposals were not effective to our remedy or our concerns, and would have replaced competition with ineffective regulation in a new and dynamic market. So the remedies that Microsoft proposed that EU thought was okay, CMA said they require consistent regulatory intervention. And they've been arguing recently, look, it's proven by EU. EU approved this deal, and they're like, but we're approving it with contingencies. We don't want to get into that. We're an overseer. We are a watchdog. Like, we see a problem, we render a solution that is going to be substantial across the board, that doesn't require us to check in on you like a babysitter every 5 days. That's what we're looking for here. If the EU wants to do that, that's fine. We don't think that that's healthy for the market, is having regulators say, oh, well, we're going to pass this deal, but it's potentially dangerous. We're going to check up on you. Okay, we checked up on you last week. We're going to check up on you next week. Like you're on probation. CMA is like, no, we're not probation officers. We're not babysitters. We need a deal. We need remedies that are going to satisfy these concerns, period, or we're not passing the deal. That's their argument. And again, you can fall on either side and disagree with that approach. And there are fathomable arguments out there that disagree with it, even though I agree with it. But I'm telling you, those fathomable arguments are not coming from the mainstream. The mainstream, 99% of them are idiots when it comes to this. They're dumb as hell. Don't listen to them. I gave you names. Check out Jack to Slip, Clivey Linden, Rock, ROKK. Check them out. Dad Plays Games. There's a bunch of them. Check them out. They do great content. They understand cloud gaming. They do great content. They nail this down. There are others like myself, my homie Lo-Fi Monk, the illustrious Purple Haze, that based upon the facts, we come at it differently. Don't listen to these idiots. They don't know nothing about cloud gaming. Now, let's focus on the parts in green. This is why I say that the stuff that they're coming up with today is just baloney. These are the other elements of why the CMA didn't want to pass the deal. It wasn't solely based upon Microsoft's market share in the cloud. That was a major part in it, but there were other factors as well that regardless, let's just play devil's advocate and say the MAU numbers are wrong. It still doesn't satisfy CMA's full argument. Let's show you. Gaming is the UK's largest entertainment sector. Cloud gaming is growing fast with the potential to change gaming by altering the way games are played, freeing people from the need to rely on expensive consoles and gaming PCs and giving them more choice over how and where they play games. This means that this is vital that we protect competition in this emerging and exciting market. So they've already conceded that it's emerging. It's exciting, but it's not necessarily competing with mainstream gaming. It's exciting and it gives choice. So they want it to be organic. They want people who have difficulty buying expensive hardware or dealing with expensive hardware to have another choice. Now, if you read the full document, they concede that the majority of gamers right now may not have a problem with getting hardware, but as a market, CMA stands for the market authority, competitive market authority. As a market authority, they want to make sure that all options, big or small, are left on fair grounds competitively. They don't want to give anyone an unfair shake on whether it's a big market or a small market. So regardless, let's just say if cloud gaming never sees its full potential, it doesn't matter to CMA because they're arguing here. This is the document that they put out here since they put out their final decision. It's been here. Y'all just don't know how to read. That regardless of Microsoft's market share, they want this option untainted. Regardless, if it ever blossoms or blooms to a mainstream platform, they want it untainted. And in their eyes, the deal would taint it. So it has nothing to do with it being competitive to consoles. It's a viable option for those who don't want to have to deal with complications that may arise due to consoles. It's exciting, but it doesn't guarantee that it's going to be a mainstream stay, but it is a viable option. And because it's a viable option, and because it's a market, we want it untainted. So that's the option piece. It isn't just the market share piece. It's the market share piece with Microsoft, and then there's the option piece. But then there's one more piece, and that's the most important. That's this last green part. It says cloud gaming needs a free, competitive market to drive innovation and choice. That is best achieved by allowing the current competitive dynamics in cloud gaming to continue to do their job. Hold on one second. Okay, those are my other business proposals I got for today. That's why I don't do content, because I do a lot of business on Sundays. And I got a meeting I got to run to. But let me just wrap this up real quick. The third component is cloud gaming needs a free competitive market to drive innovation and choice. Okay, so they feel that giving this property to anybody, this property, this Activision property, and particularly Call of Duty, which once Call of Duty hits the cloud gaming market, it's going to be a serious deal. People are complaining about Call of Duty, you know what I'm saying, patches, they're being large or whatever. That's eliminated, you know, as being able to play Call of Duty once it hits the cloud gaming market. People in the cloud gaming community, again, whether it's big or small, as we've already indicated, that is not the only concern that, oh, it's going to get big one day. Whether it gets big or it remains small, it's a choice. It is an option. It's a market to them. So to the people that get serviced by this market, that are just sitting there praying to baby Jesus that this becomes a reality, that Call of Duty hits the cloud, they don't want where they go to play it to be swayed by someone acquiring it. They would rather it just be by a neutral group, a group that has the incentive to be as neutral and fair as possible. And they don't feel that Microsoft has the wherewithal to be neutral and as fair as possible because they're a competitor in this space. So they don't want to give any competitor in this space an unfair advantage over something they see is a vital piece of software that's going to help change the offerings within cloud gaming. Those are all three of the arguments. There are three pillars. Again, Microsoft already has monthly active users that surpass everyone else. This is a market that gives people a viable option to expensive hardware or whatever, and we want it to remain as organic as possible. And we don't want to give, in the last pillars, we don't want to give an unfair advantage to anybody participating in this market by giving them such a vital piece of software that would mean so much to cloud gamers. If you follow cloud gaming regularly, you know that cloud gaming, when we have our discussions, the biggest thing that we talk about is, oh, wait till Call of Duty comes here. Wait till Call of Duty. That's the main get in the cloud gaming community. CMA did their homework. They know that. So because of that, those are the three pillars. It has nothing to do with cloud gaming being competitive right now. I got to go, but what I'm going to do is tell you to check our content. Hold on. Let me go to YouTube, and I'm going to put this video out here for y'all because I can't really go over the last part the way I want to. Let's see. YouTube. No, I don't want to go to studio. I'm going to go to the channel. Let's do this real quick. I got to get out of here. Let's go to videos. Which video is that? Oh, here it goes right here. Copy link address. I'm going to put this here in the chat. The proof that CMA did not botch MAU numbers. We actually debunked that. Here, check that out. But again, I want you guys and gals to understand there are people out there with agendas. They don't understand this. Ignore them. If you're for this deal and you want to listen to people that are for this deal but speak that pivot from facts, then I urge you to go to my business partner, Jack to Slip. You can just see who I'm following on Twitter. Jack to Slip, Rock Plays, Dad Plays Games, Clive E. Linden. I'm gonna put their names in the chat right now. Rock Play. I'll just put Rock. Dad plays games. Jack. Dislip. Clive E. Linden. And there's others. And I'm sorry if I'm forgetting other people, but those are the first foremost in my mind. And then as you hear them, they're going to be talking to other people that are for the deal, and then you can listen to them. Don't listen to these idiots out here. They don't know what the hell they're talking about, and it just agitates me. I'm a big proponent against the internet being used to spread ignorance. I just hate that stuff. I hate it. I almost swore there. I hate it. To understand what's going on, go listen to those people. They're for the deal. We can talk about why I'm not for the deal at some other time. All right. So with that said, I hope you've gotten some enlightenment, some information, no longer ignorant to what's going on in the cloud gaming space. I hope so. With that said, next time, we'll see you next time. Have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.